Land ownership in the United States is considered a key part of building generational wealth, but historically in the Black community, land has been hard to obtain and keep. Recently, 19 Black families came together to change that.
Black women doing the damn thing.
A moment of triumph as Black families walk upon nearly 97 acres of land that they're thrilled to now call their own. Here in Toomsboro, Georgia, among the lush greenery and breathtaking scenery, is where Ashley Scott and Renee Walters hope their people can finally find freedom.
Everything that I'm doing with the Freedom Georgia initiative is for legacy, for generational wealth, and to help inspire the world.
The Friends united amid the nationwide unrest sparked by the deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor. Walters reveals the trauma surrounding the murders led her to seek therapy.
I got a sense of anxiety when my husband would leave the house to go to work.
Scott says the situation left her feeling powerless to protect her own family.
It was just disheartening when it comes to being Black in America.
They pondered how they could make a lasting impact beyond protesting and signing petitions.
There was this desire, this need to be able to affect real change and amass Black power.
After learning there was land for sale in Wilkinson County, Scott and Walters spoke with friends about teaming up to acquire it.
So when we presented the opportunity, everybody just jumped on the chance because we just knew that it would be something great.
That's how the Freedom Georgia initiative was born. In August, the 19 families purchased the 96.71 acres in Toomsboro that you see here. Their goal? To create a new Black Wall Street, a safe space for people of color to live and thrive.
We see tiny home retreats. We see nice, beautiful farm homes for you to have weddings. We see barns and horses.
The pioneers say never before have their families owned land until now.
We have to create generational wealth, and we have to begin to work collectively and recycle our dollars in our own communities.
Buying the land marks the first of many steps toward bringing the city of Freedom, Georgia to fruition. Cornelius Blanding, executive director of the Atlanta-based Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund, says he's excited for the families, but Blanding also has concerns.
So many of us go back to the land and we don't have the tools we need to properly develop it. We don't truly understand the history of things and understand it from the standpoint of what have been the challenges historically and how do we avoid those challenges.
Those historical challenges, he says, include discrimination, systemic racism, and heirs property.
What that is you have families who don't have a will or an estate plan, that don't have clear ownership. It's land that's been passed down for generations without a will.
Not identifying a legally designated owner puts family-owned land in jeopardy, he says. Blanding recommends that the Freedom Georgia initiative makes sure to take steps to protect its new land.
That there's some form of will, estate plan, some corporation, some family trust, or some form of structure. So getting the property structured so that they can protect it is one of the most important things that they would do.
For those who hope to achieve a similar feat in their own communities, Blanding says access to the right kind of capital is key.
When Black folks understand more, come together more around pooling capital, whether it be in communities to create these community development credit unions, or collectively to create some type of financial institution.
Right now, Walters, Scott, and the other families have a lot on their freedom agenda.
Fire services, emergency services, law enforcement, road and water and sewage.
Financially, they're getting help from people all over. Through a GoFundMe page, families have raised over $63,000 of an $88,000 goal. They say their mission will take time, but they're ready and willing to put in the work.
We want to be a model for cities and towns all over to show them that you can bring your friends and family together and purchase land because now is the time. Welcome to freedom.
Welcome to freedom.
Welcome to freedom.
Scott and Walters say they hope the city of Freedom, Georgia will be up and running within the next 3 to 5 years. In Toomsboro, Ashley Williams for Atlanta Black Star.
All right. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and we're here back to run back part 2 of this Independence Day project. But, we got to start it off right, get it in and get the juices flowing, lay the foundation so we know what we're talking about for everybody who's brand new. If this is your first time, this is On the Shoulders of Giants live on Saturdays and Tuesdays. But, it's Saturday, so we're getting it in. So this is part 2. Professor Carl Tone Jones, my homeboy, he created a documentary years ago called the Independence Day Project. And the question on the table for the Independence Day Project is, what does an independent Black community look like? So for last week's video, the questions on the table was 2 questions that was on the table. What does an independent Black community look like? And is an all Black community racist? Those were last week's questions. What does an independent Black community look like? And is an all Black community racist? So the question that's on the table for this week's video is, are Black people afraid to create an all Black community? Are Black people willing to create an all Black community? Do Black people even want to create an all Black community? If so, why? If not, why? What's stopping us, like this Freedom Georgia, the video that we saw? What's stopping us from doing more of that? Why is it more of that happening? Conversations that's going on with the Independence Day Project. Why aren't more conversations like that happening? Why aren't we putting more plans together to create communities for ourselves, but also learning from our history? If you build it, you must protect it, right? If you build it, you must protect it. History has shown us that we are living behind enemy lines. So we can't act like we're not. Can't act like we don't know where we live, but we're living behind enemy lines. But Freedom Georgia, what's stopping us from doing more of that? What's stopping more of us from coming together and doing more things like that? That's what I want to get into today. That's the question on the table, right? Do Black people even give a damn about creating an independent Black community? Is that something that's even on the table for us to do? Is it even possible, right? So big shout out to Renee Woods once again for being up in the building on this good Saturday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, B1 FBA, we up in here, this Black American family. We doing our thing. Hollering at you. Amina Muhammad, how you doing? Happy Saturday to you. Peace and blessings to you as always. You know, about to get up in this thing, get our learn on and do what we do. So Renee says unity, resources, and finances. That's what comes with the independent Black community. That's you dang on right. You dang on right. Like, independence is real. Like, it take work, but it's worth it. It's something that's respected. Like, not being dependent upon somebody to give you the crumbs off their table. Imagine that. Imagine us having the whole loaf of bread rather than waiting on somebody else to give us crumbs of crumbs of crumbs of crumbs. Because remember, Dr. Claude Anderson told us back in the early 2000s that by 2013, 2015, we're going to be a permanent underclass. We're going to be like 4th class citizens. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. It's 2025, and we see he was not lying. All right, Renee say 100s across the board. You already know. Not being scared to defend ourselves. There you go. That's what comes with an independent Black community, right? But that's what comes with creating an independent Black community, right? Defending ourselves and our family, right? Creating family, protecting it. If you build it, you must protect it. History has shown us that over and over and over and over and over. You know, we love to talk about Black Wall Street. You know, we act like Black Wall Street is the only Black community, only thriving Black community that ever existed in America. But cool, we love to talk about Black Wall Street. But of course, the total downfall history of Black Wall Street is not told correctly. It's not told at all, right? But the part that is told about how it was bombed by the white supremacists, right? But did we learn from that? Did we learn to protect what we build? Did we? No, we didn't. Matter of fact, we didn't learn a lot from what history has taught us and our scholars have taught us. That's why we are in the position that we in today. And that's why we out here being 4th class citizens. Once again, Dr. Claude Anderson told us in Powernomics what was going to happen. A lot of people read the book, but they ain't do nothing. Most people didn't read the book. Most Black people didn't read the book. There are a lot of Black people who don't really give a damn until trouble comes knocking at their door. And then when trouble comes knocking at their door, then it's everybody else's problem to care about racism when they didn't give a damn about racism in the past because it didn't come knocking at their door, but now it's affecting them personally. That's one thing we got to get past to be able to create an effective, a real, healthy, thriving, independent Black community. We got to give a damn about each other. We got to give a damn about each other. My man Nemesis X is in the building. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. Right? Black people have to start giving a damn about each other. Dr. Joy DeGruy talks about it in post-traumatic slave syndrome. She talks about how we have internalized that self-hatred. We have internalized hatred for our fellow Black people. We don't mind taking each other out because we see each other as something that we have learned to hate, something that we have learned to value, to not have value for, something that is valueless, right? That is what we learned. That's what we've internalized, the epigenetic stuff and all of the negative programming that we received, man. You already know, man. Chisel Chipper up in the building. What's going on, man? Hell the eye, man. Y'all better understand, man. You better awaken yourselves. You better get your mind right. In the land of the blind, the man with one eye is the king. Remember that. JW in chat, shout out to y'all. Shout out to you, Ricardo, man. Hey, man, you know, I'll be looking forward to talking to you all up in this thing on these Saturdays. I'll be looking forward to you all. And then Mrs. dropping some more gems on this. Henry Louis Gates with side-eye discrimination until, right, at his own house. That's what always happens. You know how Black folk do, man. No, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong until it come knocking at their door. And then they are angry. I am upset. This should not have happened. This is racism. But you were just talking about racism don't exist. You were just talking about racism don't exist. And now you upset it happened to you. So, of course, you know, in saying this, of course, this independent Black community ain't for everybody. Because there's a good number of Black people who don't give a damn. We ain't even talking to them. We ain't trying to convince nobody to do nothing. You either down or you ain't. This ain't no get down and lay down scenario. This is a you either down or you ain't. You either are about some positive Black people stuff or you gonna fail with the nigga shit. That's just what it is at this point. Nobody's begging anybody to get their shit together at this point in 2025. This damn year almost over. If you're another melanated person who are of the origins of Black people in America, and you don't give a damn about your future or the future of other Black people, we ain't talking to you. If you're a Black person and you care more about white people stuff, we ain't talking to you. If you're a Black person and you don't give a damn about what we talk about, we ain't talking to you. But if you're a Black person who really about some positivity in the Black community, that's what we talking to. We talking to you. We ain't convincing nobody to do nothing. Go to hell with all the convincing. We ain't doing that. What's interesting is when I grew up in the Black community where there were all the businesses where Blacks in the 60s, I watched white supremacists take. Yeah. So here in Tallahassee, one of the communities was Smoky Hollow. Smoky Hollow was a thriving Black community. It's a park now. It's a park called Cascades Park. And now they put like little memorial thingies over there, but you know, they ran Black people out. Then we had Rat Row, which was demolished. And then there was Frenchtown, which Frenchtown still exists, but Frenchtown is the hood. And then there was the Bond community, and the Bond community still exists, but now it's the hood, the same as Frenchtown. Rat Row doesn't exist anymore, and Smoky Hollow don't exist anymore. The reason he was upset because damn Henry Louis Gates, whatever his name is, damn him, right? Don't be mad now. Don't be mad when the white folk come and jack you up. Don't be mad now. Why you mad now? You mad now the white folk come and jack you up when you already knew about. If Henry Louis Gates was such a great historian as he claims to be, he shouldn't have been surprised. unless he just read the words and don't understand what he reading. Unless he could just read and remember. Unless he just a parrot, he just remember and recall, and he don't process what he read. And then, okay, then I can understand him being surprised if that's it. But if he actually takes the information in, critically analyzes the information, and then come back and then be like, oh, I can't believe these white folk ran up on me at my house. Well, I mean, we are in America. You're a historian, though, right? Man, you, me, and Pat already said this years ago. Man, look, bruh, we keep trying to tell people, man. We keep trying to tell black folk what you know how loving and open and gullible black people are, right? That same gullibility is what the Europeans played on when they first colonized Africa, when they first showed up in Africa. Europeans have been playing on the gullibility of African people for the longest. We such humans, such loving people. We love people, man. We're welcoming people, man. Still to this day, it's cringe to see Africans just welcoming white people up in their villages after, like ain't nobody tell you what happened before all this. It's like when we read Destruction of Black Civilization and Chancellor Williams is talking about the Maasai prophecy. It's like when they allow a white person to come to the village, that's the beginning of the end for them. And they knew the prophecy. Everybody knew the prophecy, but they still let a white trader in. And that literally was the beginning of the end. The prophecy came true. History tells us over and over and over and over and over and over and over. When you trust your enemy, you stupid. You're going to fail when you trust in your enemy. When you're looking for humanity to come from people who ain't got no damn humanity. All right? Let's say, why born is a color black? Why born is a color black, white, or yellow? Are you afraid? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. William Graves. I have no idea what that means. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what that means. Talk to me like I'm in third grade, Mr. William Graves, please. I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry. Love without understanding and appreciation of history isn't humanity. Look, we are some immature people out here walking around playing grown. There it is. We're old people playing mature, trying to think we know what's going on. Even though we're having failure after failure after failure after failure after failure, like generational failures we keep having. But we got all the answers, though. We got to wake up. It's about time that we wake up and we understand that, hey, what we doing ain't damn it working. Who keep doing something that don't work? Us, because we dumb as hell. We crazy. We are crazy as people. Yes, we are. We're so loving and caring for everybody. I'm so happy we finally got our wake up call. Hey, we better, but we need, well, of course, let me rephrase what, because I was about to say we need more people on, but once again, going back to what I said earlier, everybody don't give a damn, so damn them, right? It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna be no majority, Joseph. It ain't gonna be no majority. It's always gonna be a minority, Joseph. You know that from history. Yeah, you're right. I do know that. I had to talk to myself real quick. My bad. No love. Exactly. Umar told my head, you got to have respect for your enemy. No, you don't, man. Your enemy don't have love or respect for you. That's why they're your enemy. That's why they treat you like an animal. Creative Flash Designs, what's going on? Rooting for everybody black. Hey, that's that picture that's on Pexels. I know that picture. That's that picture that's on Pexels. That's that black lady. I be using that picture sometimes. Shout out to that picture. What's the subject for today? Oh, so this is part 2. We're watching and reviewing part 2 of the Independence Day Project. Last week, the question on the table was 2 questions on the table. What does an independent black community look like? And is an independent black community racist? Today, the question on the table is, are black people afraid to create a independent black community? Or do black people even give a damn about creating an independent Black community? Do we give a damn about creating anything significant for ourselves? And I'm not talking about en masse, but I'm talking about enough of Black people doing it, or even more. Like we watched the in the beginning, I showed a clip of the 19 Black families that brought the 97 acres in Georgia for themselves to build that for themselves. And we need more stuff like that, but it has to be protected as well. So we're using that to bridge us into watching the second half of the Independence Day project. And remember, the question on the table is, do Black people even give a damn about creating an independent Black community? To be fair to us, it's partly our socialization. We can't just condemn us. I mean, right. You know, it is a part of how we were cultivated. But it's like, enough of those of us who claim to understand should be breaking the chains, and we should be breaking the chains. Well, we should be showing that we're breaking the chains, or we have broken the chains by our actions. But I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just adding on. That's right. You're right, Renee. I forgot what I said, but yeah. To my Umar still. Hey, man. Look, I mean, I don't even know, man. It's like I want to see. Nobody in the beginning, nobody did not want him to open the school. But at this point, I wouldn't send, if I had a pet iguana, I wouldn't send my iguana to his school because I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust Umar with my children. I just wouldn't. After all of this, if you trust him with your children, something wrong with you. Your enemies do not love you at all. Hey, man, so we about to jump on into this Independence Day project. I love chatting with y'all. Y'all know how we do. But I think the second half is like an hour, so let's go ahead and get into this thing. Grab your popcorn, grab your Skittles, grab your M&Ms, get you some chips. I then went on to the Dollar Tree, got my snacks. Just go ahead and get it in. This Independence Day project. Shout out to Professor Carl Tone Jones for producing this documentary. Shout out to Patrick and everybody. Q Butter, who was up in the documentary. We finna do this thing like we do it.
In our communities now, we have stores on every corner, and these stores in our corner and in our community, they won't hire one youth that live in the community, that patronizes them, that shops with them, that spends their money with them. The money goes straight to these businesses, and the money leaves our community. They won't hire one youth from our community.
We deal with more of a communal economic system, the way that our ancestors did. So we're not dealing with, the American dollar. We're dealing with our own form of currency, our own value system, and own ideas that we're able to barter, trade with one another. And that we have an economic system that is beneficial for the entire community, from every man to every woman to every child.
We have to.
So I want to hit on that point there, right? Because what he's talking about is significant, right? He's talking about being able to create a communal space to where we can have our own economic space. So that takes give a damn. That takes a tremendous amount of consistent give a damn, right? And so to be able to be in a space to where we have our own economy, our own currencies, our own barter system, our own economic system for ourselves, our own way to buy, sell, and trade things that we need for our survival and our everyday things. To be able to create that circulation within our own community for ourselves, man, would be amazing. But that's the things that will come with the independent Black community. But we have to free our minds first. Ricardo Float, my brother, he says, I've always felt that we should carry ourselves like it's not easy for any race to approach us to ask for sympathies. And when we're treated the worst, if they beg me, I'm just saying, man. Well, we've been sold this Martin Luther King, Jesus, we have to look out for our fellow man. We want to fall on the right side of history. Little sob story. The idea is you Black people have been through slavery and Jim Crow and all this segregation and racism. So you should feel sympathy for all other groups of people, even though all other groups of people have benefited from your misery. And that's that bullshit. So yeah, Ricardo, you on point. Consistent infrastructure, but that takes a commitment. That's a word we do not like in our community. commitment. A commitment to fight and die for the life you want. Ooh. Now, you see, you asking. Hold on. I got to put myself on screen real quick. I got to put myself. Nemesis, look at me. You asking for too much. You asking for you want black folk to commit to life and let me put this back on. Let me put the comment. Commit to fight and die for you asking for too much. I can see if it was like Chris Brown tickets, then yes, they would commit themselves to that. Life, liberty, independence, liberty, Chris Brown tickets. Chris Brown tickets, right? But we have to and I'm playing, but the sentiment, yes, we have to be able to commit ourselves to that. We have to have so much give a damn. That's the word I'm using today. Give a damn. We got to have so much give a damn to understand what we're fighting for. I'm just saying. I believe enough of us do, and the rest will catch. Yeah. Well, and it's time for it's time for those of us who give a damn to go ahead and click up. We need to form like Voltron and get on out here and do our thing. We have to work together. The deadline for us to work together was like 20 years ago, maybe 40 years ago. We far behind the deadline now. Far behind the deadline. It's too much for the adults. Yes, we have to focus on the children. We got to focus on the young people. We got to focus on the young people. Us old folk, we trash. We ain't talking about nothing as far as being able to change the mindsets and break the chains. If you're an adult and the chains have not already been snatched off your brain, it ain't happening no time soon. Because by the time you wake up, you're gonna wake up in that pseudo stuff and be one of the people talking about you can walk to Egypt through the Grand Canyon. We don't need that. Let me go ahead and get this thing back playing though.
House the community, we have to employ the community. So people need jobs. So when we create our businesses, we can't say that we're going to be efficient to the point where we're going to stop somebody from earning a living.
All of the social activities in the community, these organizations and these events that are usually put together by nonprofit entities, they need funding. And that funding, that money is normally going to come from the for-profit entities in those communities. So when we need things like local youth sports teams or spelling bees or chess clubs or all of these other different organizations and activities we have in the communities, festivals and events and parades and all that, they should all be sponsored by the businesses in that community, the for-profit entities in that community.
Being the maker, meaning you make your own, you're the manufacturer of your own goods. The owners, meaning you have the rights. No one can come and just take your rights. You have the inalienable rights.
Economically speaking, you don't boycott an institution, you build your own institutions. So that when your institution is up and running, as you're investing and continue to invest in it, your institutions will provide you with the things you need. You don't have to boycott anything. You can just walk off the reservation, walk off the plantation, and never return. Never turn back. Never look back. Never go back.
Straight up. If we don't do it for ourselves, ain't nobody gonna do it. Everybody gonna fund who else gonna fund our revolution? No, come on, like think about that. What other group, if we don't give a damn about funding our revolution, what other group will? What other group is really going to give us the economic stability and the economic foundation to boost ourselves, to be a powerful group of people when we don't give a damn to do it for ourselves? Who would be foolish enough to do that? Only a group of insane people would depend on another group to make them dominant, to make them powerful, to make them relevant. Are you crazy? You expect your enemy, your oppressor, you expect that group of people to put you in a position to better yourself? Are you crazy? Man, I gotta sip my water real quick. I'm drinking some common sense water. We got to wake up. We got to stop living in the land of make-believe, in the land of fairy tales and ideal. I want the world to be great. I want the world to be nice. It ain't nice. It ain't never been nice. And it ain't going to be nice to our black asses. So when are we going to be nice to ourselves? I'm just saying. Enigma 70. What it is. Building.
We need to teach them skills like plumbing, auto mechanics. These are things that are still relevant, and these things can be self-sustaining for young brothers and sisters, so that they are not held at whim. So we're not sending our children to a fast food establishment looking for a job. We can teach them a skill, and they can take and shop their service wherever they want. All right, being electricians, masonry.
We need young entrepreneurs within our local neighborhoods right now. We need to build that into a community. We need the.
If you expect somebody to give you something, because I mean, like, who gives a homeless person wealth on the street? Who walks by a homeless person on the street, sees a homeless person on the street, and says, you know what? I feel sorry for you that you homeless. Let me give you a wealthy life. Hey, let me, like, what y'all think this Trading Places? Y'all think this the Eddie Murphy movie, Trading Places? Y'all think people just going around doing that for real? Like, really, like, I want people to really, really grasp it, like, in a realistic sense, in real life. Like, who does that? Who gives a hand up to the people that they oppress? Who does that? Nobody. But only fools expect that to happen. We need not only Black Wall Street, we need new independent Black communities that are built on some common sense with a realistic futuristic outlook. What will the future look like 3-4 generations from now for us? Will Black America even be relevant? Because we talking, you know how we like to brag about being the culture. We love to brag about being the culture. We the culture. We the culture. But the culture don't have nothing tangible to show for it. All the culture does is produce wealth for everybody else. The culture. We love the culture. We love the culture. We the culture. We are the culture, yeah, but we are the culture making everybody else wealthy. And that culture that we have not learned how to use that culture to build anything significant for ourselves. It makes us feel good. That's what we have, a culture of feel good. Our culture, it makes us feel good to say that we are the culture. It makes us feel good. But what's the tangible outcomes of it? What's the tangible realities of this culture? I'm not saying we don't have a culture. What I am saying is we've allowed others to manufacture ideologies and mindsets for us to manipulate our culture to benefit them. This culture that we love, it benefits everybody but us. That's all I'm saying.
We need the corner stores, and they should be owned by us, so that we know that we're going to employ more Black workers in there, and we're going to keep the money in our community. So we need to teach these things within our school system, but with a thorough understanding of the system that we're in.
We need for our children to take us to the next plateau in regards to creating a Black digital mecca or Black digital meccas, different places where we can go to for our computers and technology, and we won't have to rely on the dominant culture, or we won't have to let them continue to have the monopoly.
Black first, Black first, Black first, Black first. Everything that we're doing is for the empowerment and the enrichment of us as African people.
If we're talking about architects for our community, we're talking about city planners for our community, we're talking about legalese for our community.
We need construction workers. We need agriculturalists. We need so many different trades. We need engineers who thoroughly understand the basis of what we're trying to do and who can go and learn these different trades and bring it back to the community.
Nah, Lil Jadavian need to be a rapper. Lil Jadavian need to be a rapper. Lil Aiden need to be Aiden, Caden, Jaden, and Hayden all need to play football. Like, think about what they're saying. Think about what's being said in this documentary about things that are needed, things that are integral to building a real society, a real community. We're not going to build a community. We're not going to build a future with athletes, entertainers, and celebrities. Athletes, entertainers, and celebrities. Your garbage man, the people you look down on, your garbage man is more important than your favorite celebrity. You think I'm playing? Let the garbage people not come pick up the goddamn trash. You want to know who not gonna come pick up the trash? Your celebrity. Let your garbage people not come pick up your trash for 6 months. See how important they are not. We need to understand, like we have our priorities mixed up. We don't even understand what it takes to build a society. I'm just saying.
Preparing them for an independent black community, not preparing them to be a peg, trying to fit in or identify a place within this power structure, but to go and build their own.
Right.
Not to go to look for a plate at their table, but to build our own tables and to have our own places where we can discuss and build upon the things we need.
Now, Ricardo, you out there being racist. That's what somebody gonna tell you. You out there being racist. Hey, man. Hey, man. Me no black. Like what they say. Me no black. Me no black. You know how they call us all these little names and stuff. And everybody ain't black until it's time to benefit off of black. But when it's time to actually really be black, ain't nobody black, you know. Yeah. But yeah. Me no black. That's what you should tell them. Me no black. There you go. But we got to be willing to do that, B1. Got to be willing.
We need psychiatrists and psychologists who thoroughly understand the system of white supremacy and understand our social ills from being up under this system.
Oh yeah.
Because my God, if you think we're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder from being in these wars through the military, we've been in a war and we're still in a war.
Oh man, that's a great. Oh man, it's like because so many therapists, counselors, and psychologists try to therapize our people through a Eurocentric view, through a Eurocentric lens. Our people are not getting better out here because the therapists don't even have the right viewpoint of what happened to us. They don't understand racism. If you don't understand racism, you can't really help people who are victims of the system of racism. I'm just saying.
And we have signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. And we need psychiatrists and psychologists who can understand this system and understand what we're going through and come back and help heal our illnesses and our symptoms.
We have to acknowledge the mental health and the damage that's been caused by living under the oppressive system of this oppressive system of white supremacy, this oppressive system of colonialism, and the damage that it has done for us generation after generation after generation. We passed down traditions and customs that were steeped in fear and retribution of Jim Crow we don't even recognize. We know to be in the house before the street light comes on, but we don't understand why until you start understanding what the term sundown town means. And knowing that if you were blacking outside when the sun went down, there's a chance you could be lynched, raped, whatever. You know, something terrible could possibly happen to you just because you're black and there'd be no consequences for it.
There it is. look, man, just hammering home the point, man. Like understanding what's happening to us, understanding what has happened to us, understand the need, the importance of us to do for self. It's just this. It's even more important, emphatically important today as it was 50 to 100 years ago, right? And we have to be better. We have to do better. We have to live better. No, you don't want better. Do we want better for ourselves? Like, is this it? Is this it? To just be relegated to just oppressed people, to just now fourth class people. This is it. We're just going to be relegated to fourth class people. But as long as we do it in style, we're okay with doing it. As long as we do it in style, as long as we look good doing it, as long as we got our name brand white people clothes on, as long as we got the music bumping, as long as we can eat, as long as I can make $100K. I mean, who cares about being oppressed when you can make $100K? When most people still don't make that. But you know what I'm saying. Finding that comfortable place. Start acting like savages, begging and depending on the federal, state, and state governments to give you something. Hey, man, I'm just saying, at some point, we got to get off our knees and stand up and be actual human beings, be men and women. There it is. There it is, man. These brothers and sisters, we got to create communities. Me, Kim, what's going on? How you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome. You know, we're reviewing part 2, or the second half of the Independence Day project. But I stopped on the part because we're talking about, the post-traumatic stress syndrome and what has happened to us. But just being able to understand, like, they warped our minds for a reason. You warp a group of people's mind that makes them easier to be slaves. We were bred to be slaves. We were bred to be laborers. We were bred to not rebel. We were bred to be docile people living on our knees. But goddamn that, because we don't have to live like that. We could be independent. We could be free. That's why we go through the information we go through.
We've been taught that Africana Studies is a bullshit degree. We've been taught that it's not important. It doesn't help.
Well, let me take it back a bit so the brother can get his start. But yes, hitting this point, trauma does need healing. And that's again going back to what Dr. Joy DeGruy was talking about. We have 400 years of unhealed trauma that we're trying to unpack by ourselves. A lot of people are not even trying to unpack it. They're just trying to live. They're trying to survive. We're in extreme survival mode due to the trauma that we've been able to face. Like, I'm learning more and more about trauma and more about mental health, because I'm not thinking this. Mental health is a track that I am pursuing professionally. I'm going down professionally. I'm going to get my professional credentials, and I'm going to become a mental health specialist. I'm going to become a mental health professional. So I have a 3.5-4-year plan to become a mental health professional, because I have an ultimate plan within the realm of reproductive well-being, especially for Black people. Reproductive well-being, reproductive health, sexual health for Black people. But I've asked and begged for years and years when I worked in, I begged for years of behavioral change, to find behavioral change components. But damn it, I'm going to go ahead and get it myself. I'm going to go ahead and get the credentials and put it all together. And I have an ultimate plan rolled out to be able to help my community to get it better. But I need better understanding. I need to better understand the behaviors that we're dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and get my professional credentials and all that. But I said all that to say, it's about making sure that we put ourselves in the best position to make our people and our community better. But like Nemesis said earlier, we got to pour into these kids. We have to pour into these kids. You have to be in your community doing what you can to pour into these young people. And if you're not, you're part of the problem. Can't just be waving our fingers at these young people. Black independence doesn't just come out of nowhere. It comes from hard work. You have to be willing to get dirty? Are you willing to get dirty? Are you willing to deal with the scraps? Are you willing to start from the beginning? Are you willing to do that? Or does it have to be comfortable? Because if it has to be comfortable, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. B1 to you too. 100 to you too, B1. Renee Woods, anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. It's always going to be the issue, just like that. There you go. We got to get it together. Got to work together.
We've been taught that Africana Studies is a bullshit degree. We've been taught that it's not important. It doesn't help us get a job. It's not a nation building discipline. But nothing could be further from the truth. When Malcolm called for a liberatory education, when he called for us to explore every dimension of our people and our history, he was basically making a call for Africana Studies. Africana Studies is not just the study of our ancient history. It also includes the study of our history, culture, and politics of African people wherever we exist, regardless of land, label, or language. Who's going to teach our history? Who's going to use rigorous research methodology to explore the contours of our existence and our culture? Who's going to keep our cultural memory alive? Who's going to train future scholars and scholar activists? Those people are going to be your people in Africana Studies. So this includes people like Amos Wilson, John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Francis Cress Welsing. People who look at our history, culture, and politics and provide critique of oppression and blueprint to remedy oppression. And they do this specifically from a black lens, from a black perspective and point of view. This is why Africana Studies is so important. Africana Studies is special. It's one of the only academic disciplines I know of that says we have rigorous research, we create radical theory, and then that radical theory and that rigorous research is supposed to manifest in the action on the ground to create the type of institutions we need, the type of clear thinking, analytical minded people we need, and ultimately the nation we need.
And so the areas in which we must be self-determining and powerful, we've identified. Number one, the area is independence of information, education, and learning. You have to control that in your own business. As long as other people, other cultures, other forms are educating and providing the information and the learning processes for your people, you will not have power, you will not have self-determination.
Straight up. Now, I do want to make a point to what the brother was talking about education and being able to educate the youth, give the youth a different type of education. So that will also in turn make us produce better educators, more capable educators, more knowledgeable educators, educators who are not just regurgitating the same old, who are not just regurgitating the white history, the white rhetoric, the white mindsets, because we all know the school systems do shape a lot of our black students with white minds. So we have to make sure that the educators themselves have been rewired. So when we put them in these positions to educate our youth, they are educating them the proper way so they can so the youth can grow up and solve their problems rather than the youth growing up and repeating the same cycles. And William, you're saying Christian or no Christian, to what point? I'm just trying to make sure we on the same page. Don't love mean should it solves? I don't know.
We have to explain to our children that we are living in a system of white supremacy.
In a liberated society with a liberatory educational system, we will have children who are practicing and embodying the values
just
of
like music.
One area of activity that I think that Black people will really have to make a change in order to achieve Black independence is education.
How we can get people to gradually advance through the different stages of Bloom's taxonomy, and to become more critical thinkers, which the schools that we would have, that would be like the priority, because in order to handle power, we have to be able to think critically.
If I understand any of our ancestors thoroughly, it is Dr. Carter G. Woodson. When he wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, that is one powerful, concise book. He said that more than fighting against the lynchings at that time, which was lynchings as opposed to like the police brutality and killings, shootings that we see today, they was lynching us. He said more than fighting against the lynchings was fighting against the miseducation of the Negro, because we have found ourselves in this system being thoroughly indoctrinated subjects that whether we still have some small hope and love for our people, we are so thoroughly miseducated that we come out and we perpetuate and continue the system that they've built for us, which was a system of oppression and exploitation under European domination. And we come out and perpetuate that even more.
We would be teaching real history. I think our kids go to school and they spend an enormous time at school each day, but they are learning history that the truth of the matter has been whitewashed. And so our kids don't know their history, and so they don't understand the value of themselves.
Also explaining to them the need for Black independence and not reformation of a system that functions perfectly when white folk or the white community receive its privilege. When the privilege is happening the way it's supposed, that's the system functioning the way it's supposed to function. And we need to explain that to our children.
Education is more important than land, because if you got the land and no education, you can lose the land. But if you got education and no land, you can get the land.
Nemesis, I was just thinking that. Nah, it's funny. I was just thinking that. I was thinking Shamika before the sellout. God damn it, Shamika. Before the PC caught her right before the sellout, right before she started kissing white booty holes. PC caught her.
Because you're smart enough.
These are the things and values and ideas that, along with, the reading, the writing, the math, the arithmetic, the language of African people that we need to teach our children, need to also be incorporated into an educational system that is controlled by us and is established by us based on culture.
But within that curriculum, we also need to teach these different trades that we see that we need right now for our civilization. And what do we need right now for our civilization? We need doctors and nurses. We need doctors and nurses who will go back and set up clinics in the community so that they can help heal us physically.
We go throughout the communities and we teach and work with various groups of people, mainly our children, our schools, and we link with various people, even of other nations for that matter. Because I'm not against working with other people of anything, as long as it brings about the solution for who needs the solution, and mainly for our children. Right? For our families, for our home. We teach how to create agricultural green spaces in the area that we live in. And that brings about unity, it brings about self-sufficiency, and it changes the atmosphere to bring about health.
If it takes me offering some nutrition classes to the community, some fitness classes to get people started in that path, and training other people to take these same education and take it into their community, so that we start this community-based project of where we're actually teaching people how to eat well even with limited resources, some movements, physical movement, just so they can go that way.
I remember going to my doctor one day and I got a physical. He looked me in my face, he was like, Ishmael, he was like, if all of my patients were like you, I'd be out of business, And that resonated in me. Like, I got in my car and I was, this is my duty to tell my people that.
holding study groups so that we can educate ourselves, because we cannot depend on any education system, surely not the public education system, to educate us and empower us so that we can actually strategize and move forward.
Educationally, that we are taught the values and, system, and ideas in a system that allows for us to learn about us as African people, to empower us, not just historically, not just culturally, but even spiritually.
He mentioned education. When you think about whether there was the transatlantic slave trade or we had our natives here, you know, you have people who come and oppress you, or due to numbers, you know, numbers try to overpower you and take away and steal from you your land, and then with time, as generations, you know, pass, your identity. Therefore, what is now being ingrained within the minds and the spirit, as far as fear as well, and insecurities within children that are coming up. It's like the lesson say, you know, sticking a pin into the baby's brain. You are, from birth and even from conception, while a mother is carrying that child, is being instilled with fear, with doubt, with insecurities. So what is being educated within that child is going to affect them for a lifetime.
We built our own educational.
So we gotta remember full liberation in all 9 areas of human activity. I'm gonna say that again. Full liberation in all 9 areas of human activity. And understanding where the different aspects of life fall under those categories. Education, economics, entertainment. Education is one category by itself. Total liberation within the area of education. What would that look like? What would total liberation in the area of education look like for Black people? How that would be so revolutionary to have a total liberation of education, right? We're the ones who are educating our own. We're educating our youth. They're learning what we're teaching them only. What's up, David? Dave, my bad. Dave, how you doing, my brother? Welcome to the live, man. Welcome to the live. I'm just saying, education is one of the key areas.
Facility, that way we can protect our babies from the havoc of the school system and BS being perpetrated by the school system.
Jay, what you want to say, man? I know you sitting on some fire over there.
No, I was thinking like first steps, right? First thing I think needs to happen is like marooning spaces. So like those spaces that we can develop and actually do that process and take the people through that process also takes us through that process too, to make us better in the sense of much more purposeful on what angle to address the issues, to bring folks in. So like that's the first step, right? And then I also think that like another first step is also like some aspect of direct action that highlights a contradiction within our society, and that is connected to other groups with a purposeful affirmation of like dignity and life, and Black life specifically. And I think many different angles like that all at once need to happen right now. And I think that's realistic right now in the way folks are talking across the board. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. They're kind of like, people want something to happen. People want to challenge the status quo as it is.
I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Politics.
We demand.
Politics is another one of those areas of human activity.
We want land. We want land. We want land and space. We want land. That's what we want. That's what we need. If it ain't about land, we not talking.
We have to have our own land.
That we deal with politics as African people, not based on anything dealing with this European paradigm. We're not dealing with, being a Democrat or Republican or independent, but we are independent as African people who deal with politics the way that our ancestors dealt with politics.
When y'all was under the British and y'all wasn't able to do what y'all needed to do, y'all wanted land. Y'all had sense enough to know that the land is the basis for independence, as Malcolm said.
We can't be systematically removed when we have our own stuff. So we need to have our own land. We need to work for, of, and by each other.
We need land. We need land. We need land. We need land. And we can handle the rest after you get out the way.
See, one of the things that has been done.
But when we get that land, protect that land so the land don't get polluted, poisoned, land don't get taken away, land don't get set on fire, all those other things. You got to remember, this is a war. We will always constantly be under attack. So you have to think like that. You build it, you must protect it. And we got to learn not to let our plans out in public. So, yeah.
In America and around the world, but in America specifically, is the incorporation of townships.
This is a time of separation that's happening.
That's Ricardo. Your question is exactly why Carter G. Woodson wrote The Miseducation of the Negro. Check out my matter of fact, Ricardo, the video that I'm putting out on Monday, chapter 2 of The Miseducation of the Negro. Chapter 2 of The Miseducation of the Negro that I'm putting out on Monday. That is your question. That's exactly what the whole video is about. The educated Negroes who can't solve problems. The name of the chapter is How We Missed the Mark. And it's about the educated Negroes who missed the mark. Yep.
Right now, brother. And everybody is going to get what they come from themselves. It's going to come from themselves. So the white people from themselves, they doing what they do. From myself, let us go ahead. Because as this thing go down, we come up. You know what I'm saying?
I was once at a lecture, and this gentleman happened to be a white man. You know, because I tell everybody, you know, get your information from wherever you got to get your information from. Don't shoot the messenger and retain the message. So this man said basically, you know, show me a community that's broken, and I'll show you a community that has no ownership.
To get to a place where our food is there because we put it there. Our children learn what we prescribe for them to learn. The wage system we construct, the economic system we construct, comes out of our own vision. And to me, that's what this Independence Day project is all about.
Like I said, just out of that place of need for a visible solution. And we show people camaraderie and what that looks like. We show them what unified effort looks like. Because of the people that have become involved with us, we have aligned ourselves with other organizations who back what we do. And any programs or solutions that they're offering to people, you know, those are things that we integrate within what we do. So when people come to us, now we can be a connector or a bridge for what they're looking for.
It means that you got the freedom to be creative. You have the freedom to go into that land, dig out of it to get what you need. What do we need? We need food. You know what I'm saying? We need healthy food, not this hormone chemical warfare that they pitting out here, the death food, right? We need clothes. You can get that from the land, man. We grow the cotton, right? We grow the silk even from the worms. Like the silk come from the worms, right? Right? We need shelter, right? So we can plant the trees, brother. We plant our own trees. We cut our own trees down. We build our own tree, our own house. We need metal, right? So we go into the ground and we get our steel, we get our copper. You know what I'm saying, brother? Okay, we got brains. The Quran say, I gave you a brain, so I want you to use it. We'll take our brain, we'll fashion the cloth to make our own clothes. We'll fashion the wood that comes from the land to build our own houses. We'll fashion the steel to make our own structures.
There's a full spectrum dominance that white supremacy has when it incurs upon your community. And we'll be able to abridge that in the independent black community by setting up our own boundaries, our own districts, having our own form of independence, which comes with a form of sovereignty and a sense of sovereignty. And when you have that sense of sovereignty, your ambassadors set those limits, and you have the financial means and you have the military means to defend what your community is.
I'm just saying. Nation building. You said it right. Nation building. It is. This is what we got to do, man. This is the idea. This is the idea, but it has to have tangible outcomes. It has to be something real. We have to actually do this. That's why I started the video off with the 19 families who came together, who purchased the land in Georgia, to show as an example of this. This can happen in real time. All we got to do is give a damn. Stop spending money on white people stuff. Save your money, put our money together, and buy some land for ourselves. They would not build you, but you can. There you go. Ain't nobody going. Only a fool would expect somebody to build something for them. Why would your enemy or anybody else build something for you that they don't have to build for you? How is it in their interest? How is it in the interest of your oppressor to build something that will benefit you? Name me one thing that the oppressors have given us that benefited us. I'm just saying. There you go. We're in America, but not of America. There you go. Unsubscriber says Trump president, Musk, X page, Google, Gates, Microsoft, Zuckerberg, Meta boss. Yep. Well, all of that white supremacy, all of that, all of that, all of that, all of it.
Propaganda is designed in this culture to achieve one particular purpose, and that is to maintain the image or the perception of white superiority over black inferiority. You know, propaganda is an elephant originally named Jumbo when it was an Indian elephant with short ears, blows his nose and his ears come out, and now his name Dumbo. So the Disney movie Dumbo, clear propaganda from Jumbo being elephant to Dumbo being African elephant. You know, just like this picture of the African elephant there. And so again, people will call it subliminal, but it's not subliminal. It's very overt if you know your history, but you must know your history and your culture to understand the attack that's right in front of you.
Our entertainment will reinforce positive images, ideas, messages, and stereotypes of African people.
Then you got to begin to tell your own story. Then thirdly,
was Conformist Living, Anaconda, and my man Dark Kent up in the building. The illusion of inclusion. Yep. We think white folk like us. We think we can just go up in them white spaces and just white folk gonna like us. It don't work like that. Even if you working for the white folk. I was looking at a video the other day. You know, the resident sellout Myron Gaines. Myron had the nerve to go up in these white people's space, caping for white people. And the white people say, hey, we appreciate you for caping for us, but you a nigga and you will never be welcome here. So get your ass on. You can go keep caping for us, but you're not welcome. You're not welcome in the club. The illusion of inclusion. There you go.
You got to protect the news stories that you're telling about yourself, because people are going to try to undermine your attempt to become powerful, your attempt to re-narrate yourself from inferior to superior over yourself, the attempt to re-narrate yourself from slave to someone who's in authority.
Our entertainment in our independent black community will totally counter entertainment that we experience today within this European society.
So the first thing we got to do is become unaddicted to their stuff. I mean, we're the ones going to the movies, we're watching Empire, which is the other side, again, things like Empire and Scandal, the other side of the equation is they're designed to reaffirm your inferiority. You know, so that even when you're in a game, even when you're trying to be an entrepreneur or a mogul, you're going to be bombarded and inundated with all of these challenges because you're black. So you have stresses every week. It's designed to have a stressful moment every week. You never get to celebrate even when you're supposedly successful, because again, you're always inferior, so you don't even know how to handle success. You just got to get that stuff out of your system.
We're disengaging from your propaganda systems, your corporate control media. We're disengaging from your lobotomy camps that you call public education systems in schools.
And that's one of the main things about entertainment in the independent black community. We are telling our own stories. Nobody else is telling our stories. We're not
receiving stories from anybody else but ourselves.
You know, information entertainment is like food. It's nutrition, but it's nutrition for your mind. And we are ingesting malnutrition, and then we're diseased in our thinking as a result.
Well, user, that's why we on this channel we have the discussions, we put out the information and things, but we also back it up with the call to action of this has to be an everyday practice. You have to be a person. If you're a person who wants change in the community, it has to be an everyday thing for you. It has to be how you live. It has to be how you walk, how you talk, how you eat, how you sleep. You should be an active force in your community. We can't make everybody do it, but we got to go out doing our part.
All of that. So the first thing I got to do is purge all of that out of my system, or as much of it as I can. And then you begin to create your own stories as re-nourishment. You know, everybody's saying the same thing. We just have to do it. But we're not at the point. We're so addicted that we don't want to get rid of the crack. We don't want to get rid of the heroin. Empire, these movies, these cartoons, that's crack. That's heroin. Got to get it out your system. Got to get it out your brain. Then you got to begin to tell your own story. Then thirdly, you got to protect the new stories that you're telling about.
Ricardo, black folk are insane. Black folk are insane and in love with the white man.
I think we currently live in a society where there's a lot of propaganda. There's propaganda everywhere, even in Germany with Adolf Hitler.
What specific realization are you talking about, O'Neal? Just some context to what you're saying so we make sure we're on the same page.
Had a lot of propaganda. He offered a lot. Him and the Third Reich, they offered a lot of propaganda, but I think it was just propaganda. I think there was enough. The propaganda was not used to get people to want to think critically on their own.
If you got a song that's being constantly played on the radio that's telling you to spend your money, spend your money, spend your money, and then you got a song that's being played on the radio that's telling you to invest, build, grow, and make other entrepreneurs, expand your community. This is changing the narrative. This is changing the way of thinking.
We have to be the one.
So SPP, I agree. I do agree. To be truly fully independent, truthfully black independent people, we do need to replace the system of white supremacy. But that will call for black people to be united, because that will lead us to this independent black community. But that will call for black people to stand up and stand out and stand as one. So yes.
To make sure that we are reinforcing positive images, positive ideas, positive messages, right, to our youth.
What we first have to do is begin to value ourselves as black people, raise our standards, and require that things that we see on TV, things that we hear on the radio, really reflect who we are as a people, opposed to us getting behind the foolishness that has really began to take over our communities.
Right, because
now it's ironic she says that. Nemesis, where you at? Where you at, Nemesis? It's ironic she says that because she has now fully adopted the foolishness that has come with the community. So yeah.
We already know outside of our independent black community, the stories about us won't be the stories that we would need to empower us. So we are telling our own stories, and we're only entertaining our own stories.
Well, I don't. So I got you, O'Neal. I don't think that realization is late for us as a whole. It's late for generations of people, certain younger generations who coming up. That realization is late for them because there was nobody to pass down the information. So because there is a generation gap, an information gap, there will be people who having a late aha moment, you know. I'm just saying, B1. I'm just saying.
We're in a spiritual warfare at this moment.
You need to know the various different African spiritual systems that are indigenous.
I don't think black unity will happen in this generation, maybe not the next 3 or 4 generations, but black unity can be something that happened in maybe 5, 6 generations from now, if we plant the seeds and we do what we need to do now, if enough of us are on code, if enough of us are doing what we're doing, it has to become a norm in the Black community to be on code, to be righteous, to be uplifting, to be empowering. It has to become a norm. It can't just be talking points. Talking points won't change the future. It has to become the behavioral patterns that we exhibit on a regular basis.
To our people, it just didn't start with Christianity and Islam. We had traditional African systems long before that, and it didn't even begin with Kemet. You know what I'm saying? So we had systems older than that, and there are thousands of different African systems that existed that predate the so-called modern ones that exist today. The big ones that the vast majority of the people in the world deal with those particular systems of religion.
We all know what the Haitians did, how they invoked the ancestors, and how they used the voodoo to invoke the spirits and gain power, and were able to defeat the Spanish, the English, and the French in the Haitian Revolution and become the first free nation in the Western Hemisphere.
Our people are caught and trapped and addicted to religious ideologies that don't best serve us as a people. When we don't deal with things on the social.
No, I'm with you on that, B1. I'm with you on that. And that's why I'm being realistic about it. I don't think that Black independence is going to happen within the next 2 or 3 generations, but I think the seeds can be planted for 4, 5, 6, 7 generations now to be able to have it start to sprout and bloom.
Aspect of things, it then messes with us emotionally, and then we have.
Well, is Haiti a great example? Is Haiti a great example? Because looking at Haiti now, look at how Haiti is now. Is Haiti truly a great example? Haiti is a great example of fighting back, but is it a great example long term? Because look at it now. Haiti is hurting independent on others just like anybody else.
All these other mental things that we have to deal with and compile, and when we don't deal with those, because we haven't as a people, it gets to us on this physical level.
And understand the difference between spirituality and religion.
That spiritual piece. There's a difference between spiritual and religion. When I say spiritual, knowing the God within you, being able to quiet your chaos down to hear.
White people created the actual transatlantic slave trade. Black people didn't create the transatlantic slave trade. White people created the transatlantic slave trade. Yes, there were some sellout blacks who participated in it, but we're not gonna sit here and act like Black people created the transatlantic slave trade. We're not gonna sit here and act like Black people are the sole reason that we're over here in America. Come on now. Come on now. We are gonna blame the white folk. Come on now.
Intuition that your answers are already here provided for you, but you have to be able to get that up from your energy, but you can't be blocked.
No matter what we've been taught, that spiritual connection to the ancestors, we all still have. Who you saying until they sold out? Who sold out? Who in Haiti sold out? I'm just saying Haiti is one of, if not the poorest nation in the world. So they're a great example of what? All we have to do is tap back into it.
Or outside of our natural way of life in terms of environment. We're environments that contain too much.
Give examples of Haiti being Black dominance. No, I'm just saying real, like we have to have realistic conversations. Let me put myself on screen so you can see me. We have to have realistic conversations. Like, if we're gonna talk, let's be real. Got to be all the way real. You're trying to tell us that Haiti is a great example of successful independent Black dominance. How? And you say the revolution. They won that revolution. They won the war. They won the battle and lost the war. Look at how Haiti is now. Look at the current state of Haiti. How is that dominant? How? How? You helping my point. You helping my, that's not dominant. Dominant people don't get bankrupt by their enemies. No, they won a battle. They won a battle and lost the war. Look at how Haiti is now. Look at France and look at Haiti. Look at France and look at Haiti. Let's be real. Let's be real. Nobody's saying that you downplay the victory, but we're talking about long term. Look at Haiti now. Look at how France is and look at Haiti. Let's be real. Let's just tell the truth. That's all I'm saying. Let's just tell the truth. Let's not live in a magical world.
Much nitrogen, which is adverse to Aboriginal people, or we're not even in the tropical and sun.
I'm just saying, the goose. I agree with you on that. How are you dominant when you're paying France and you're paying a debt to France? Explain SPB. Please explain. How are you dominant when you're paying a debt to France? How does that? What is dominant about that? Please explain that. I'm just right, but it's the closest we got, but it's not enough, right? And so what we can't do is try to stretch the truth, right? We have to be honest. Haiti was a great victory, but the long-term effects of it was not great. And we have to be real, because we will never truly be free if we don't tell the truth, the whole truth. Tell the whole truth.
Enriched environments that we need to thrive in as melanin dominant people.
So on the level of the pineal gland or the third eye, when it gets calcified from eating the wrong foods, not getting the minerals and vitamins it needs, it starts to block us in so many different levels.
That you're able to access. You don't even have the proper blood flowing to your brain. Your brain cells are not communicating in the ways that they should communicate, because we're putting unnatural things in our body. That's blocking the electrical frequency that our brain cells actually use to communicate.
Because there's a lot of us walking around just broken down and can't walk a flight of stairs, man, without putting their hand on the wall or having a conversation without.
I mean, they won a greater war than we did, but I mean, the total outcome, the long-term outcome. Because as a diaspora, we still all fucked up. And Haiti cannot help us in America. Remember that. The people in Haiti cannot group up and help us in America. Just like we can't group up and help them. So we all still fucked up. This is not a challenge of who's, because we all fucked up. But what we can't do is stretch the truth, though. We got to tell it like it is.
Like, hold on, bro. You know, that type of thing. So, and we got to take care of the way we eat. You know, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know we know enough to know what's not good for us.
When we take into consideration that our economics, we don't need to be going to the Chinese restaurant. Cook some.
Yeah, right now you got halal vegetables. You got black power vegetables. You got vegetables that's brought forward from self with the best intentions. And them seeds, and as that food grow with the best intentions, it's gonna go into the bellies of our people with the best intentions, because we're taking our people off the poison, man.
My goal is hopefully you'll work out with me. And if you don't work out, just go work out, bro. Like, get active. And that's my slogan every time. Stay active, get active. It's not like, come work out with Ishmael. Get active, man.
You don't gotta eat this devil hormone, chemical warfare, turn a woman into a man, turn a man into a woman, dumb your thinking down, destroy your life expectancy food, right?
My most beneficial workouts to me are outside on the track, outside in the park. You can use like the seesaws, the bench to do push-ups, the monkey bars to do pull-ups and things of that nature.
That's right, but we still don't have a blueprint for freedom. We still don't have a blueprint for true freedom, for true independence. And that is what we actually need, a true blueprint for true independence.
And for me, I know it's imperative for us, if we want to be revolutionaries and we want to be able to protect our communities, How can you be a revolutionary when you can't make it up a flight of steps?
The FDA said it. I didn't say it. They said that the processed meats are cause more cancer than smoking cigarettes.
Once they see the results, and
Right.
then they want to join.
Yeah.
Like that, how does that saying go? Build it and they will come. Because people want to see the results. People are not going to.
Well, so the fruits and vegetable conversation is irritating to me. It's very, 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 very irritating to me because, and hold on, SPP, I'm gonna get back to that, but the healthy thing is irritating to me because, like, I see it in my community, and I'm not sure what other people's communities are like, but my community pisses me off. We complain about health. We complain in our community. We complain about our lack of health. We complain about the obesity. We complain about food deserts. We have community gardens in our food deserts that most people don't give a damn to tend to. Most people, like, there's where I live between two community gardens. And most of the Black people in the community do not take advantage of the community gardens. There are 4 community gardens within 15 minutes of me. And most of Black people, all of these community gardens are in predominantly Black neighborhoods, and most of the Black people in these communities do not take advantage of these communities. I don't want to hear about food insecurity and food deserts. It's a food don't give a damn that's going on in our community. We don't give a damn about health because health takes discipline and health takes work. And most of us don't want to do that.
They don't want to be the starter kit, so to speak. They don't want to because they don't believe in it. They don't think it'll happen.
Well, I mean, I say Haiti wasn't the blueprint because Haiti didn't truly become independent. So Haiti is a good blueprint as far as a good start to independence, but we need to turn that chapter in the book to something that can show us what true independence is, because there is nowhere where we can show where Black people have been able to truly defeat the system of white supremacy and be independent of them and not have to pay consequences. But I get where you're going. It is a good start, though. I don't disagree with that. It is a good start for us to be able to move forward, but we have to be able to build off of that. And I think that's one of the greatest issues that we've been having, especially with our scholars, like was mentioned earlier in the film, is we're leaning on the past, but we're not building upon the past. So I think we need to get to that point to where we're building upon the past.
For whatever other reason, they don't want to be part of the starter kit. So it takes, like you said, if it just takes 5 people to start the process, to get people on board, and then once you get that rolling and people start seeing the change and they start seeing progress, then others will want to know. And that's basically how people will start coming on board.
Said that there's no developed Black nation. Whoever said that there's no developed Black nation? I don't know who said that, and I don't know why they say that, because I mean, there are developed Black nations across Africa. All right. I mean, O'Neal, some stuff we just not gonna entertain because some people just, they just be talking. Right, but we're not gonna always almost ourselves to independence either. We're never gonna always almost ourselves. We got to remember that.
One time I remember listening to an interview of the late Bobby Wright, and he said something.
No, I agree with that. SPB. We have to separate. We have to separate. We have to. We have to. If we don't, it's gonna keep killing us.
It was, very impactful. It seemed heartless when you first listened to it superficially, but he said people mean nothing to me, meaning the quantity of people. The quantity of people mean nothing. So he was saying in 1978, 40 million black people mean nothing. I'm not trying to organize 40 million black people. I'm trying to organize 10. And
sellouts, turncoats, all of them, they have been the problem. You're saying getting rid of sellouts is part of it, but we still, I'm not, and nobody's saying that we can't do this, but if the argument is we have a blueprint, I'm disagreeing. The argument is not that we can do this. If the argument is we have a blueprint to independence, I'm saying show it to me, because we need a real blueprint, because I don't know of any group of African people who've ever truly defeated the system of white supremacy. And now, if you know it, please show me. But I have never came across any information of any group of people who've truly defeated the system of white supremacy and was able to truly live independent. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. That's what we need the blueprint of. Nobody's saying we can't do this, but if we're going to do this, we can't have some pie in the sky ideologies. It has to be rooted in reality.
Because what happens is when we look at this mathematically, we only need a critical mass. Because once you get to a critical mass, then things take off anyway.
I hear you, Magoo. I mean, I feel you picking up where they left off, but where did they leave off? So how do we pick up to where they left off? Right. And picking up to where they left off, there's still nobody to get us over the hump. Because we know how to get as far as they've gotten, but how do we get over that hump?
You don't need everybody. So we don't need everybody down with us. I need a critical mass. I need a certain percentage of people. And I need those people to say, you know what, I'm going to give you 5 hours a week. I'm going to spend 4 of those hours a week teaching my people, and I'm going to spend 1 hour a week being in the neighborhood. I need 5 hours a week. Can I have 5 hours a week from you? If I get 5 from you, 5 from him, 5 from her, that 15 hours a week.
Syria, what are you saying is simple? Just to be clear, we're on the same page. What you saying is simple?
I can make something positive happen. Now we get 3 more people, that's 30 hours. We get 3 more, that's 44.
SPB, I hear what you're saying, but in reality, what I'm saying is, though, oh shoot, my bad. What I am saying in reality, though, we still have no real blueprint of black independence from white supremacy. We still don't have that. We have ideas of what we think could work, but we have no real ideas of what could actually happen. Oh, my bad, I messed up. It's back to where we was. Wasn't that far. Uh-oh, I done messed up. I just pick it up from
We need everybody. So we don't need everybody down with us. I need a critical mass. I need a certain percentage of people. And I need those people to say, you know what, I'm going to give you 5 hours a week. I'm going to spend 4 of those hours a week teaching my people, and I'm going to spend 1 hour a week being in the neighborhood. I need 5 hours a week. Can I have 5 hours a week from you? If I get 5 from you, 5 from him, 5 from her, that 15 hours a week, I can make something positive happen. Now we get 3 more people, that's 30 hours. We get 3 more, that's 45 hours a week of pro-blackness. And all I'm asking you for is 5 hours a week.
No one is coming to save us. No one is saving us. We got to be empowered to save ourselves.
In the system of white supremacy, they don't care about equality and fairness. They care about manifested destiny, eminent domain, winning at all costs, even if it costs you your life. So we have to understand this is war. And whether you declared it, whether you want to acknowledge it, war has been declared on the black community in all different facets.
revolution is not going to be a physical revolution. It's going to have to be attacked first from a spiritual component, and then secondly from that thinking component.
So what that mean? You can't watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy every day. Okay, I get those up. You know what I mean? You can't watch Power and Housewives and basketball. All right, get those up for black people. So
if we can't figure out how to get past the sellouts, then we're still failures. We're still failing to be independent because we can't figure out how to get past the sellouts. How do they keep using that same move on us? They keep using the same move on us and we can't get past the same move. Then what does that say? We can't get past the same tactic. We already know they're going to do this and we can't get past it. That's a great example of the failure on our end.
What we need to do is very small things. I need 5 hours a week. I need 10 hours a week. I need $12 a week, $12 a month from you. But I need it consistently. You can't be in and out. I need this consistently from you. Because we got to fund this. We have to move this machinery. This machinery ain't going to stop because you don't want to give 5 hours next week. We still need that time. So we got to be committed to it.
We must broker ceasefires among ourselves. We must broker peace among ourselves. And we must do it block by block, a lot till you not, brother. And this is going to be a hard revolutionary struggle because fearless brothers and sisters is going to have to stand in between the black people killing themselves and fearless black men and black women is going to have to build peace. This is me and you is talking right now, brother. And this is me and you is eye to eye and we reasoning, brother. This is what we going to have to do on every block in the black community, brother.
We got to get out of this cyber world and put boots back on the ground. You know, and that's the thing that we are moving on now with the street team. We have to get back into the streets. That's it.
We're going to have to go out there among our people and we're going to have to stand between them and we're going to have to mediate peace, brother, because we have to correctly identify what we face with. We face with a black civil war that's caused by white supremacy. White supremacy have put a cleave inside our nation to make us fight each other. And it's going to be very difficult for us to fight against the main enemy if we got a civil war.
Some brothers and I have started something called, we don't really have a name for it, but it's a block by block campaign. And our goal is to get at least 2 black men to be block captains on their block, to make sure that their block is clean, to make sure their block is free from the riffraff, to making sure they're teaching the youth, making sure they're supporting the women that's on the block. And block by block, if every man steps up and take care and has that accountability for their block, you'll change your city in no time.
We must raise up a peace guard of black men and women from the neighborhood.
And we don't have any examples of truly being able to conquer whiteness and be free of whiteness without any consequence. And we can still be free. Because all those nations that you are naming in the comments have been retaken over by white people. I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. Like, we don't have any examples of black people truly being free of the system of white supremacy and being able to maintain true independence without any real consequences from white people. I don't know. I don't know how many other ways to say that. We will not, and we cannot always almost. You will never almost your way to freedom. We only have examples of getting closer or being somewhat, but no examples of true freedom and true independence and true from the consequences of white people. We don't have that. I don't know.
That has the sole purpose of maintaining, protecting, defending the peace among us.
Our walk would be different. We'd be more vigilant.
You
wouldn't see children playing outside by themselves with no supervision. You wouldn't see black women being places all over the country with no one with them, with no one knowing where they're going. You wouldn't see us moving unless we're moving in pairs and we're moving in packs.
But the same way, brother, that we're going to come and lower the gun. We're going to take the brother's hand and we're going to lower the gun pointed at his brother, right? And then we're going to take his other hand and we're going to put a rake in it, brother. We're going to put a gas-powered trimmer in it. We're going to put a hoe in it. We're going to put a trellis in it, a hammer in it, a screwdriver in it, because there's work to do. And there's no reason why we can't, with our own tools, with our own self, go out and make a decent living for ourselves and build jobs for ourselves, right?
So to me, it's all about that that accountability. Again, I ain't talking about that Republican rhetoric accountability. I'm talking about us having a mindset where I want to make sure whatever I need, I can get it from black people, or I want to make sure whatever my people need, I'll make sure I'm the one that gives it to them.
We have to start thinking about not fighting within their system at all, unless we're fighting in their system to help us with our independence, outside of their system, completely outside of their system, where we have our own sovereignty and we control our own. We are self-sustainable without them.
These babies, man, these babies, yo, yeah, we live for them, but we also would kill for them. That's how precious they are, brother. You understand what I'm saying, brother? We will fight to maintain this peace, brother. I'm not letting nobody come here and disrupt this right here. This is black people working, black people doing their thing. I would fight for that, man. I would die for that. That's worthy to die for, man. Isn't that, that's a worthy thing to die for?
Straight up.
To die for black communities. What I'm getting at, brother, is love.
A lot of times when I talk about nation building principles, folks are always like, they ain't gonna let us do that. But other people have done it. Why won't they let us do that? And why are we thinking about somebody allowing us to do anything? Did we allow them to enslave us? Did we allow them to segregate us? Did we allow them to lynch us? Well, all the time we looking for somebody to allow us to do something. What's in your best interest, you just got to do it and don't care about whatever repercussions it is. And will it start some issues, and will some folks shed some blood and lose some lives over it? Yep. Yeah, but freedom ain't free.
There you go.
Freedom isn't free. Liberation isn't free. We must, in fact, fight for it. And this would take place in a number of ways. As we know, let's say, looking at the American Revolution, one way that the colonists fought for their freedom was by writing independent, radical, and liberatory literature.
We'd have our own think tanks, thinking and putting together. And I'm not just talking about, information gathering sessions. I'm not talking about BSing on the phone. What I'm talking about is paid, sponsored think tanks. We're up against think tanks like the RAND Corporation, Stanford Institute, the Council on Foreign Relations. We're up against some major players, and we need to start taking that seriously.
And I think we can look back on history and see that we've marched a lot, we've protested a lot. We've joined in the ranks trying to reform a lot, and we still see that our power has not been given over to us.
There you go.
And I say that to say that the Continentals showed us a great example to sometimes to what extent you would have to go to gain your power.
Thomas Paine's Common Sense pamphlet that was circulated all over the colonies, fueling the colonists with this revolutionary fervor, fueling the colonists with this idea that they had the right to fight Britain and to be independent, and that they shouldn't be so heavily taxed, and yet they have no commensurate political representation in government.
No one has ever been enslaved in the history of man and fought to be equal with their oppressors. They fought for freedom. They fought for independence, to be independent.
Well, we don't like to talk about that natural tribalism that black people have. We don't like to talk about that built-in separation that we have, that's been there, that the Europeans have been exploiting since they showed up in Africa in the 1400s. We don't like to talk about that because, that goes back to accountability and us being responsible for the stuff that we did. So,
away from their oppressors. So there's no such thing as equality.
You don't hear about this. We were fighting so much to end chattel slavery. We were fighting to be free. But they knew that they had to free us on their terms. They had to be the ones to free us on their terms so that they could set their terms and their parameters to it, so that they could dictate what freedom would be for us.
So another way that they fought back, of course, was they withdrew from the opposition. They no longer depended on the opposition. They formed their own independent networks for everything. That means they had spies. They had their own way of distributing information throughout the colonies. They had their own codes. They gathered intelligence. They no longer depended on Britain because now they're fighting Britain.
We still are not responding like the people at war. So in an empowered community, one of the things we would be doing is we'd be gathering intel. We'd have spooks sitting by the door in every level of white society. We'd have our own media.
Well, we don't know what tribes we came from because of the actual transatlantic slave trade. Like being realistic, not thinking, not assuming, and not coming up with something because of what we read in the Bible, in a book, even in the Bible, and trying to associate it to us because we have no real physical evidence to show that, because we don't know where we come from in Africa. We're only assuming. And anything anybody tries to convince you of that, they're only assuming. Show the evidence. Don't tell me this book. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. We don't know where we actually come from in Africa, but what we do know is where we are here in America and what has happened to us in America, and how do we move forward with that. That's what we do know.
Circus, we have our own propaganda specialists.
And I think in gaining Black independence, I wouldn't be quick to jump to any physical contact, but we always have to keep that in the realms of possibility of what could happen, because this country, just like Britain didn't do with them, they didn't just release the power. Sometimes you have to take your power.
And just as the colonists fought in those different ways, they fought intellectually. They came up with theory, radical theory, liberatory theory. They made new alliances and coalitions with people who were interested or sympathetic to them, right? And they actually fought with weapons. They engaged the enemy. They brought their little muskets out and whatever, and we're gonna have to do that at some point too.
So when we look at military, we just can't necessarily say they got a tank or I can't fight them. Y'all remember Tiananmen Square? Where that Asian was standing in front of that tank? He had heart. That's what we need.
So, speaking of Black independence, when we get to a point and they get frustrated with a Black independence, with us being self-sustaining, which they would think would be detrimental to white supremacy, to dominating, it may come to a point where we have to take our power.
Choose a spot, any spot. Move there, build there, and I believe the rest will follow.
This is why Malcolm said in the house Negro and field Negro analogy, that the field Negro said, if somebody comes to him and says, let's separate, let's escape, he doesn't say where to, he says, any place is better than here. And so we're going to be, some of us, fighting with ourselves.
We are the infrastructure of this so-called society or nation that we want to build. And there's nothing harder than facing ourselves. The hardest thing that any human being can ever do is face themselves for all of their.
And so, well, let me say this as PB, because if you're going to say that, then you have to say that about the whole diaspora, because there are coons all over the diaspora. And let's just be real. Black Americans are only reacting to how others have been treating us for the longest. Let's just be real. You can't be like, me no black, me no black, me no black, and then all of a sudden everybody black, and then the black people are the problem. Black people in America are a problem. Come on. I'm not saying black people in America are not adding to the problem, but I will say we didn't start it. I will say that.
Corruption, for their flaws, their faultiness, the evil that dwells within. That is the hardest thing for anyone to ever do is face themselves. So once one has made the decision to improve themselves, to focus on the self, then it's much easier to focus on building the family.
Some family members want to stay on the plantation. You ever think about?
But see, the nobody's denying Tariq's whatever, but you are basically, y'all are saying black people, black Americans, because FBA, Foundational Black Americans, that's what FBA stands for, Foundational Black Americans. Black American people are FBA, ADOS, whatever you want to call us. We are that. Basically, y'all are telling us to shut up and take it. Let everybody come to America and dump on you and shut up and take it, because it's okay for everybody to come to America and dump on you. And black Americans are saying, hey, y'all can't come over. Y'all are the reasons we're here, and you're going to come over here and shit on us? No. You're going to disrespect us? Come on. Stop it. If you ADOS, FBA, all of you are foundation, you are a black person from America. We are the same people. We got to stop that stuff. We can't sit here and talk about unity and then because you don't like one person, stop it. We're all the same people. Get it together. We got to grow up. That's one of the main reasons why we don't have what we need for ourselves, is we always find something stupid to fight about. Grow up. We have to grow up. We are all the same people in here in America, but we gonna keep fighting because our mindsets are so messed up. Because you disagree with somebody's ideology, we're not the same people. We got to grow up. We have to grow up at some point.
Because the plantation may be oppressive, but it's what they're used to. Some people are used to that check every 2 weeks, which is why they won't become entrepreneurs.
Some people, we're going to have some sacrifices because we got a lot of new.
I ain't best do nothing. I don't have to best do nothing. I'm going to reject anybody who come on in this space with foolishness. We are all black people under America. They all see us all as niggas, and we want to fight about some dumbass shit. We don't do that over here. We don't fight about dumbass shit when we got bigger problems.
Europeans that don't look out for the best interest of the black community now. They're worried about their bottom line, and their bottom line hurts our collective bottom line. So we have to kick them out. And that's all good. Some might be friends, some might be family. You know, might be your husband, might be your wife. God forbid it be your children. Because if it's your children, that's your fault.
We're going to have to decide, are we willing to forego the comfortable and the familiar and the secure and what we know? We can't venture out into this unknown space, this unknown reality.
No, brother IJ, I'm gonna put myself on screen. Brother IJ, no, we can't even get out of goddamn feelings for what somebody said that you don't like. Like, we not all this. Stop it. Stop it. Grow the fuck up. White people sitting here laughing at us. We find all the dumbass shit to fight about and want to act like we got the fucking answers. No, the fuck we don't. That's why we fucked up now. This shit is fucking stupid. Grow the fuck up. Black people, we're going to continue to lose behaving like this. Finding every little damn thing to fight about. We ain't, yes, the fuck we are all the same. We in the same fucking bucket together. Yes, we are all in the same bucket. Call it what you want, but we're in the same fucking bucket. And choose, keep up that dumbass shit, and we're going to continue to lose together. We're going to continue to lose together, keep that dumbass shit up. That's exactly why the stuff that's going on in this documentary is not coming to fruition, because of the stupid shit that we allow us to divide ourselves over. I don't give a damn about what you rock with or what you don't rock with. At the end of the day, all of us are affected by the same shit. And nobody asked you to be a fan of Tariq. Nobody asked you to be a fan of Yvette Cornell and none of that shit. But guess what? We're all in the same fucking bucket together. Get the shit together. Grow up. Stop acting like you got it when you don't. Your goddamn actions are showing it. Your damn actions right here are showing it. How you are behaving right here is showing why we can't fucking get together, because you worried about your feelings being hurt. Get out your fucking feelings. I don't give a damn about no Tariq. I don't give a damn about them, right? But guess what? I can recognize that those people are still black people, right? And if they don't get their shit together, that still affects what the fuck we do over here. Grow up. Damn.
That we get to cultivate for ourselves.
But the bottom line is, we have to make sure that we set a code of conduct in place. And that code of conduct stipulates that the community comes first in every regard. Your family, in community. That's how we have to work this thing.
We need to get our finances in order. We need to get our parenting in order. So it's certain steps that we need to take to get to this promised land of no racism and white supremacy in our cycle.
You know what I'm saying? You see these young men right here? Mm-hmm. Them is your liberators. Them your liberators. They're gonna be fed from organic vegetables. They're gonna be used to handling tools. They're gonna be used to being on land that black people conquered. They're gonna be having knowledge of self because there's fearless black men here to teach them. And they're gonna be your liberators. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we doing to resist, brother. We building black power. We building black communes. We building black strong communities. You know what I'm saying? And on the basis of these...
Well, we knew he wasn't serious when he talking about Haiti won. We knew he wasn't serious. He came up here talking about Haiti won. Take that shit over somewhere else, man. Come on, man. This is real adult stuff over here. This is for people who actually do stuff for real in their community for real over here. This is what we do over here.
Strong black communities. We will be able to launch, we'll be able to grow, we'll be able to develop the type of human beings, the type of mind state, the type of resources that can support a liberation struggle. You know what I'm saying?
This will only happen, it will only take place through discipline, vision, and hard work and organization.
So when we say black independence, if that's an independence where we're looking to stay in this country, then that's still black people operating and having their own sovereignty where European laws is not applicable to us. Their government and governing is not applicable to black people. We would have our own. We would police our own. We would handle our own communities. You know, it's over here, it would look like a nation within a nation. A nation within a nation where we would not have to be dependent on them.
It's your duty, it's your mission to know who you are so you can uplift yourself and your people and bring back that sense of collectiveness. Because once we have that sense of collectiveness, we can get back to being the rulers of our own fates and destinies and not have to worry about white supremacy because we've created our own and we're protecting our own and we're relying on ourselves. Our culture is our responsibility to uphold and protect. Learn your culture, learn your culture, learn your culture. You act like you saying, never mind. Learn your history, learn your path, learn your ancestral lineage, learn your spiritual past. Learn it. Because if we don't, we are doing our future generations a great disservice.
We already done clinched victory, man. We already done claimed victory. Ain't nothing this devil can do.
We positioning ourselves, you know, as the leaders that we want to see, the leaders that we've been waiting for. Right? You know, we realize that we are them. You know, the ancestors are within us.
Can we do it? Absolutely. Can this project right here lead to it? Absolutely. Are the people involved in this project going towards that goal? Absolutely. We'll see you at the finish line.
That's the Independence Day Project, my people, my brother, Professor Carl Tone Jones. Hey, man, look, man, if you black in this world, you done got your ass whooped. All black people have gotten their ass whooped. No black people have a code. None of us. All of us are fucked up out here. All of us across the globe are under the thumb of white supremacy. None of us have a code. None of us. None of us. None of us. There's nothing special. You can have all the whatever. You can say whatever. You can say whatever. But none of us have a code that we're following. That's the damn problem. But We have to be realistic about what we got going on and what we're doing. We don't live in the clouds over here. We don't live in what ifs. We don't do that. This is not the space for that. What ifs and living in the clouds, we have enough information to show that that it doesn't help. It has nothing to do with us getting where we need to go. It's not going to help. We have to grow up. Yeah, and then they had to pay them. And then they had to pay them billions of dollars. And then they had to pay them billions of dollars. So you tell me, then they had to pay them billions of dollars. Who whooped somebody's ass and then have to pay them for whooping their ass? What does that tell you about the system of white supremacy? If Haiti whooped Napoleon's ass and then had to pay them billions of dollars. Nah. Don't call me a cop. Now answer the question. Answer the question. What dominant group of people whoop somebody's ass and then have to pay them billions of dollars for whooping their ass? What dominant group of people do that? Answer the question. Answer the question. Come on, you petty Pan-African. Answer the question. Who whoops somebody's ass and then have to pay them billions of dollars? Who does that? What dominant group of people do that? Oh, Toussaint fucked up. But they dominant though. But they're dominant though. It's the dominance though. That's what you said. You talked about the dominance. Let's be realistic. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's be realistic. So we got to grow up. We got to grow up. We got to be realistic. And that's one of the main reasons why this Independence Day project was put together. That's one of the reasons why this channel exists. Forget the smoke and mirrors. Forget all that other stuff. It's not, if it ain't tangible and gonna help us get from point A to point B, we throwing it out. All that pseudo scientific, all that stuff there. No, we not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Hey man, you ain't doing nothing but helping us get these comments up. All you doing is helping more people see this video. So yeah, that's how I go down. But hey man, these last 2 hours have been fun over here. What we've learned is, despite all of the information that's been given us, for one, we refuse to use it. And two, we refuse to be realistic about life. Until black people grow up, until we choose to stop being grown ass petty people, we're going to keep losing. So we can either choose to win together or we can continue to lose together. But it's a choice because we're going to lose together whether we get together or not. But that's how we do it. So I'm about to close this thing on that. These last 2 hours have been fun. So let me give my shout out to everybody. SPB, so you the first one on the screen. I appreciate you tuning in to the screen. We're going to disagree. That's what we're going to do over here. We're going to be realistic. We give, hey, this is what they call it, the tough love over here. You get tough love over here. Ain't no soft stuff over here. You get tough love. Made for tough love. Hey man, you know, man, you know I love the petties. You know I love it. You know I thrive on it. I love it. I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love it. But SPB, man, appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you for getting these comments up. Appreciate you for helping more people tune into this and your commentary. Negoose, Afro Dane Dog, appreciate you being here. Renee Woods, as always, you know I appreciate you being here. Nemesis X, the OG, day one, my brother, appreciate you. Siriel, I appreciate you and all of your information, all the comments that you drop up in here. B1 always, I appreciate you. Thank you. Sarah Kerwin, I appreciate you. Who else? Want to make sure I get everybody. O'Neal Dennis, I appreciate you, my brother. Unsubscriber, I appreciate you for tuning in and dropping the comment. Warraw, I appreciate you for coming in and dropping the comment. Who else? Dorian Eugene Talfoot, appreciate you. Thank you. Who else? I know SPB stay down there talking. I know he gonna be talking for a long time. I am right, you're wrong, my brother. You're gonna acknowledge my rightness. Anaconda, appreciate you for being here. Dropping the comment. Chisel Chipper, my homie, appreciate that. Who else? Let me get all the way up. Any comments I got to see? SPB, you gave me a whole lot of comments today, my brother. You happen to push this algorithm out there. So show up. Hey, SPB, we're going to be back here Tuesday at 9 and then next Saturday at 3:30. So you make sure you show up Tuesday at 9. Contractor Preston, appreciate you. Ricardo Float, my main man. Ricardo, I appreciate you being here. Anthony Harris, I appreciate you. User, I appreciate you. Dark Kent, you already know what it is. Dark Kent, appreciate you. See, Dark Kent, I already know. Dark Kent knows about the love over here. We agree, we disagree, and we agree on things. It just happened, but it's love over here. It's just tough love over here. You got to get it right. Dave Grease, my brother, appreciate you. Music, just like music. You already know William Graves in the building. I appreciate you. Creative Fish Designs, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comment. Me Kim Tate, my sister, appreciate you as always. Enigma 70X, appreciate you as always. Hidden Fees of Life, thank you for tuning in. Mick D. Bradley, thank you for tuning in. Manyok Akut, thank you for tuning in. If I butchered your name, I apologize. Amina Muhammad, thank you for tuning in, Amina. Yeah, that's about it for everybody. Let's go back to the bottom, see where we at. Bird Gang, what it is. I appreciate you. Ned Goose, hey, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great Saturday. Hey, SPB, hey, see you on Tuesday. I'm gonna see you on Tuesday, my brother. I'm gonna see you on Tuesday. Yeah. Hey, y'all have a great Saturday. Appreciate y'all.